Seattle is a beautiful city. We've got clouds and rain. Okay, well, the summers here are really, really pretty. Seattle is unique in that it's a big city right on the ocean. We're surrounded by beaches, forests, the Amazon jungle. And it also happens to have some of the best food in the entire world. So join me as I show you some of my favorite restaurants and cafes. Seattleites are known for their love of coffee and maybe even a little coffee snobbery. And although Starbucks is right around the corner at Pike's Place Market, we don't actually drink it. If you're truly from Seattle, you're probably gonna look for something a little more avant-garde. And if you want me to hook you up with a great cup of coffee, follow me. I know a guy. Introducing Mr. West. Man of mystery. Is it a cafe? Is it a bar? Is it a garden? An apothecary? It's all of the above. It's the neighborhood hangout where you can always find fresh food, friendly faces, and an Instagrammable aesthetic. What kind of coffee do you want? Do you have sugar?
No sugar.
No sugar. The menus here are large and diverse. I usually order the autumn salad to go with my cardamom latte and avo toast, but today, Bel and I wanted to try the autumn burrata.
I love the fig in it. It's like a fig and onion. I think it's a caramelized onion fig. I really love what they did there.
This is a fresh burrata with roasted fig, shallot, chicories, almonds, and honey, with a dash of smoked sea salt and a side of crostini.
The figs are so sweet and ripe.
Now I'm going to show you some of my favorite Italian restaurants, starting with Cinque Terre. Cinque Terre is named after this beautiful seaside villa in Italy. It's kind of on the northern end. Much like the Amalfi Coast, the colorful cliff homes, very old, beautiful, cobblestone streets. This seafood is where it's at. Follow me. Salvio, you're the owner of 3 restaurants. 4 restaurants in Seattle.
Yes.
So you've got Barolo, Cinque Terre,
Yes.
Mama Melina,
And List.
and List.
Yes.
I didn't realize that's yours.
Yeah,
So
great.
how did you come up with the idea? What was your first restaurant that you started?
My first restaurant was in 1990. 3 years after I got here. Got here in 1987, straight from Italy. My ex-wife and I decided to open up a restaurant.
What was that one called?
It was called Buon Gusto.
Okay.
Buon Gusto was there from 1990 to 2001. Very successful. Lines at the door. It was a really great experience. Then we got divorced in 2001 and we sold the restaurant and moved on. In the meantime, my family had come here, my mom, my dad, and my brother, Leo and Roberto, and they opened Mama Melina in 1991. In short, my mom and my dad departure, went back to Italy, and the 3 brothers decide to conglomerate and put everything, pull all the strength together.
Okay.
And
So you were making money from your Mama Melina
making
restaurant,
my Mama
which is
Melina,
fantastic.
I had
Delicious.
sold my place in the meantime. A couple of years later, we opened up Barolo in 2006. And 4 years ago, we opened up Cinque Terre in the Amazon buildings.
Okay.
So
Great location.
great location.
Smart move.
Yeah, until last March.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Oh, well, I mean,
but this will pass.
who could have known?
This
Yeah,
will pass.
yeah. So did you close during the
We
coronavirus
closed.
scare?
Yeah, we shut down for a couple of months.
For a couple of months.
No more. I think June was when the governor gave us the okay to open. So we
See,
shut
because
down.
you don't do any delivery.
We didn't do any delivery, any to go. We wanted to keep the staff safe. We didn't know what was going to happen. And
Right.
we thought that keeping everybody safe was the best thing to do, more than
Especially since it hit Italy really hard too
Yeah.
before it came here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you had an understanding of what could happen.
for sure. And then they got really locked down. But then they opened up, and now there's still cases are still on the rise.
Yeah.
Now they're locking back down.
Because there's a second resurgence. Are you planning to close again?
Well, no, I'm not planning to close. I hope we will not need to. But if we go by what's happening in Europe right now, where they had a great summer because they stayed locked down, the cases are always down every country. And then they opened up in the summer, and now their cases are going back up.
We're like right behind Europe.
Right.
So tell me what makes each of the restaurants special, like what makes them unique and...
So obviously they're all Italian. Melina is, as I would categorize, as a rustic Italian. Barolo is Northern Italian flair with a little more sumptuous dishes, more complicated.
Okay.
Cinque Terre, this one is leans more towards seafood, and List is a tapa, it's a small plates Italian type of flexible restaurant. You sit down.
I usually think of tapas as Spanish.
Yeah, but we have small plates in Italy too. So,
Yeah.
So you order.
Is it called tapas in Italy as well?
No.
No, but you knew Americans would understand.
Yeah, they understand that. Yeah, Barolo is our jewel, what we think is the jewel. Barolo through the years has been the staple of Seattle nightlife. Barolo is not just the food. Barolo is the place where you dress up in Seattle and you go out. So people that come to dinner, they move to the bar, and then they spend the night there.
It's like a neighborhood hangout.
It's a neighborhood hangout, exactly a neighborhood hangout, and the staff knows everybody by name. I mean, it's a community thing.
I think that you guys strike a really good balance with taking food locally. It tastes a little bit different than the produce at some other restaurants.
Our walk-ins are tiny.
Interesting.
Because we don't like to buy for weeks and hold it in there. We buy constantly every day, so everything is replenished. So that's why sometimes you come to our restaurants and you don't find that items because they ran out and you're gonna buy them again.
Makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
It's a difference you can taste for sure.
Yeah.
And now it's time to eat. For sure, we want to get the cioppino.
Cioppino Estes, which is our zuppa de pesce, is what it's called on the menu.
Nice. Okay, this is my favorite bread in Seattle. This focaccia is, I don't know if you can see, it's doughy. It's not like sweet, but it's a little bit sweet. And then you dip it in this olive oil. Have to look at the olive oil. You dip your bread into this olive oil infused with spices and a little bit of heat. It's so good, right?
I've never had olive oil brought from the store like this.
Wow. I know.
It smells you.
I can't tell you how fresh the seafood is here. It feels like they just pulled it out of the ocean. Cheers!
Cheers.
If you want to make some of these dishes at home, Salvio and his daughter have created a YouTube channel where he shows you all of his tips and tricks. Buon appetito!
Allora messo l'aglio.
It's getting dark in Seattle, but there's one more place we want to show you before we call it a night. We just want to do a little shout out to Christa. Tell us about the wine.
So this particular wine is made by my friend Giorgio Rivetti. Yeah, so he's a winemaker in Piedmont, Italy, and this is his Sangiovese rosé.
I like it. It's got a little sparkle, a little minerality. So William, it is so nice to finally meet you in person. I was a huge fan of Mistral, the restaurant you owned previously.
Love that.
So tell me, how did you decide to close that one down and start at Violet?
Well, I sold Mistral Kitchen in 2018.
Oh, you sold it?
Yeah, I did. I sold it early 2018, just because I was kind of I don't want to say burned out, but I was definitely ready for a change, and running such a big restaurant and the demands of having all those Amazon people coming every day was just starting to wear me down just a little bit. So I took a year off to run an importing company for a friend. And at the end of the year, my commitment was over, and I felt ready to get back into cooking. Always
Like it's just like in your blood.
Yeah, and it's something that's really fun for me, and I love people, and I love to be around people, and I love to make people happy.
Yeah.
So being in restaurants is actually kind of what I'm made to do. And the opportunity to take over this very tiny little restaurant presented itself, and I took it.
Yeah.
And so now here we are almost 2 years later.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
How did COVID affect you and your business?
COVID pandemic shut my business down. Creations that we make here in the restaurant are kind of meant to be artistic, and they're meant to be served in a certain way. And if I just put that food into a box and give it to the Uber guy, and then 30 minutes later it shows up at someone's house, I have no idea what it looks like anymore. And I don't like that. I also like to see the interaction that people have while they're enjoying the experience that we put together here. And it's not just the food, it's the drinks, it's the music, it's the ambiance, it's the wine list, it's my service team. We all work together basically just to make our guests happy. So we closed for 3 months.
Okay.
And the day that the governor said we could reopen a restaurant, we did.
Yeah.
And that was about 3 or 4 months ago. And here we are.
So tell me about your menu. Tell me, how do you design your menus? What inspires you?
The menu changes pretty regularly. We don't do a seasonal menu. We do kind of a micro-seasonal menu. We don't have a lot of space to store ingredients here, so we have to get fresh ingredients every day. And then that gives me the opportunity to just change the menu whenever I want to. And I also have a young team of apprentices, and I want to be able to show them new things on a regular basis as well. I don't want to just do the same things over and over and over and over again.
Right.
So our cooking is not very recipe based. It's more based on being inspired by the weather outside, or being inspired by a fisherman that says, hey, I've got this beautiful tuna that I just caught, do you want something? Or whatever it is, a farmer that brings me something. And so we can change the menu on the spot.
So you're sourcing pretty much locally?
For some things, yeah, when it's appropriate, when it's better. When it's
Yeah.
not better, we get it from around the world. But our goal is to get the best ingredients.
Like the
we
wine
can.
coming here
Yeah,
from Italy.
exactly. My family comes from a little town in Italy where food was a really big deal. Benevento is the name of the town. It's basically in the center of Campania. And my grandmother, who I spent a lot of time with growing up, would put these big giant dinners together for the entire family. And just like the outpouring of like love and compassion just blew me away. And I realized, I could do that. I could show that compassion to people and just delight them and make them happy the way my grandmother made me happy. And so her name was Yolanda Filomena Varicchio. And Yolanda is actually a Latin word that means violet.
So this is named after...
It's a family thing.
Okay, let's talk about pop-ups. So you have a special event going on tonight.
We do.
Do you do a lot of pop-ups? Or
We try to do them once a month. And the idea is to give up the space on a night that we would ordinarily be closed and let them kind of have the restaurant for the night. So tonight it's Lindsay Matteson, and Lindsay is a gifted bartender, and she also wrote a cocktail recipe book as well. And she's doing these 3 creations, and what I chose to do is basically just send out little snacks and fun little things to go along with it. So not really a dinner, but more just like a cocktail party.
Should we stay for the cocktail party?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, are you finished there? Can we stay?
Yeah,
we actually
we can
book a
figure it out.
Never one to turn down an invite, even if it was my own. I mean, can you blame me?
This is a roasted pork loin with herb spätzle, figs cooked in red wine, and an Amaro jus. Enjoy it.
Toki Japanese whiskey, Poke Americano, similar to a Blanc Vermouth, 2 different Amari, Braulio, which is really rich and full-bodied and minty, and then a little bit of Elixir Nova Salis, which is really, really, really bitter, but it's just gonna add like a nice earthy quality to it on the finish.
William created the concept of American omakase, or chef's choice. It's brilliant. It goes beyond micro-seasonal. It's art, an epiphany of tastes and flavors never yet experienced and never to be forgotten. Oh yeah, and they also savor champagne. And if you want to get a copy of Lindsay's book, tap on the link. Till next time, XX Shrazi.